Emily Martinez slammed her fist against Noah Carter's door so hard the hinges rattled, then collapsed to her knees on his porch, sobbing in the pouring rain at midnight. Noah ripped the door open and found a woman he hadn't seen in 7 years. Broken, bruised and barely breathing through her tears. He grabbed her by the arms and dragged her inside without a single question. What he didn't know was that this one moment would unravel everything: his walls, his past, his heart, and lead to a question that would shake them both to their core. Is your bed big enough for two? His answer: it'll melt your heart. But what comes after that answer will leave you speechless. Stay until the very end and comment the city you're watching from so I can see how far this story reaches. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. You don't want to miss what happens next. Noah Carter pressed save on the spreadsheet and leaned back in his chair. His neck cracked twice. His coffee had gone cold 3 hours ago. The house was quiet now. Lily had fought sleep until 9:15, negotiating for one more story, one more glass of water, one more hug. She was 6. She negotiated like she was 40. He rubbed his eyes and reached for his phone. No messages. No missed calls. That was the shape of his life, now predictable, steady, small. And he'd made peace with it. Most nights anyway. The rain had started around 10. By 11 it sounded like someone was throwing gravel at the windows. Thunder rolled low and long, the kind that vibrated in your chest. Noah stood up to check the locks on the back door when he heard it. A slam. Not a knock, a slam. The whole front door shook. Then another. Then a third. Then the sound of something heavy hitting the porch floor. Noah's heart kicked. He moved fast down the hallway past Lily's room to the front door. He grabbed the deadbolt, twisted it, and yanked. Emily Martinez was on her knees, both hands flat on the wet wood. Her body heaving. Rain hammered her back like it was trying to drive her into the ground. A duffel bag lay split open beside her clothes, spilling into puddles. She looked up at him. Mascara streaked down her face. A bruise, dark, ugly, fresh, spread across her left forearm. Her lip was split. Not badly, but enough. Noah. Her voice came out shredded. Noah, please. He didn't think. He bent down, hooked his arms under hers, and pulled her to her feet. She weighed nothing. She sagged against his chest. He half-carried, half-dragged her through the door and kicked it shut behind them. I've got you, he said. I've got you. She crumbled. Right there in his hallway, Emily Martinez, the most fearless, unbreakable woman he'd ever known, crumbled into a heap on his floor and sobbed so hard no sound came out. Noah locked the door. Then he crouched beside her, one hand on her back, and waited. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't ask why she was here. He didn't ask about the bruise or the 7 years of silence or the fact that the last time he'd seen her, she was the kind of woman who could have conquered the world. He just waited. It took 4 full minutes for Emily to pull herself together enough to form words. I left him. Okay. Tonight. I packed a bag and I ran. Okay? I drove 5 hours and I didn't know where I was going, and then I was on your street, and I... Her voice broke again. I didn't have anywhere else, Noah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Stop. His voice was firm, not harsh firm. You're here. That's all that matters. Can you stand? She nodded. He helped her up. Her legs barely held. Couch, he said. Now. She moved toward the living room, dripping a trail of water on the hardwood. Noah grabbed towels from the hallway closet, a blanket from the recliner, and cranked the thermostat up 4 degrees. He draped the blanket around her shoulders and pressed a towel into her hands. Hold that, he said. I'll make something warm. Noah, you don't have to... Emily? He stopped, looked her dead in the eyes. Let me take care of you, just for tonight. Can you do that? Her chin trembled. She nodded. He went to the kitchen. His hands were steady muscle memory, the same steadiness that got him through midnight feedings and toddler fevers, and the night Lily's mother walked out the door and never came back. but inside his mind was on fire. Emily Martinez, 7 years. Gone without a trace, no calls, no texts, no explanation. Just silence. And now she was in his living room, shaking like a leaf with a bruise on her arm and a split lip and eyes that looked like someone had hollowed her out from the inside. He heated soup, made toast, poured a tall glass of water, carried it all back on a tray. Emily hadn't moved. The towel was draped over her lap. She was staring at the wall with the expression of someone who had just driven off a cliff and was still waiting to hit the ground. "Eat," Noah said. She picked up the spoon. Her hand trembled so badly the soup sloshed. "Who did this to you?" Noah asked quietly. "Marcus. The guy from the reunion 5 years ago." 4. "We were together 4 years. He hit you." Emily's jaw tightened. She set the spoon down. "He never hit me. That's what he'd tell you. That's what he told everyone. He never hit me." She paused. "He grabbed me tonight. When I tried to leave, he grabbed my arm and shoved me into the door frame. My lip caught the edge. That's hitting Emily. I know that now." Her voice was barely a whisper. "But for 4 years he convinced me it wasn't. He convinced me that everything he did was for my own good, that he was protecting me, that I was the problem." Noah sat on the coffee table across from her, close enough to reach. He said nothing. He just listened. "He was so smart about it, Noah. It didn't start with cruelty. It started with concern. You're working too hard. That friend isn't good for you. Your family doesn't understand you the way I do. He isolated me so slowly, I didn't even notice the walls going up. When did you figure it out?" 3 months ago. I had a patient." She stopped herself. "I was volunteering at a free clinic. A woman came in, late 30s. Beautiful. Educated. She had fingerprint bruises on her wrists and she kept saying, 'He doesn't mean it, he just loves me too much.' And I sat there listening to her and I thought, oh my God, that's me. That's exactly me." She picked up the water and drank half of it in one pull. "But knowing and leaving are 2 different things. I tried to leave twice before. The first time he cried for 3 hours, told me he'd die without me. The second time he called my mother and told her I was having a mental breakdown. My mother showed up at the apartment and begged me to stop being dramatic." Your mother took his side. "My parents love Marcus. He's charming, successful. He's everything they wanted for me. My father shook his hand at Thanksgiving and said, 'Thank God someone's taking care of my daughter.'" "Taking care of me." She laughed. It was a terrible sound. "He was dismantling me piece by piece, and my father thanked him for it." Noah's fists clenched under his thighs. He kept his face neutral. "What made tonight different?" Emily looked at him. Her eyes were raw red, devastated, but underneath all of it, there was something else. Something that looked like the very first spark of fury. "He told me I wasn't smart enough to go back to medicine. He said that..." His exact words were, "Emily, let's be realistic. You couldn't handle residency when you were 26. What makes you think you could handle it now?" And something just snapped. Not like anger. More like clarity. Like someone turned the lights on in a room I'd been stumbling through in the dark for 4 years. "So you packed a bag." "I packed a bag." He was in the shower. I had maybe 10 minutes. I grabbed what I could, clothed my wallet, my phone, my laptop. I was almost out the door when he came out. Wet, towel around his waist. He saw the bag and his face just changed. Changed how... You know how a dog looks right before it bites, that stillness, that focus. He walked toward me and said very calmly, "Put the bag down, Emily." And I said no. Noah exhaled. Good. He grabbed my arm, squeezed, shoved me sideways into the doorframe. I hit the edge, my lips split, and I looked at him. And for the first time in 4 years, I didn't see the man I loved. I saw exactly what he was. What did you do? I opened the door and I ran. I got in the car and I drove. I didn't stop until I was here. Silence. The rain hammered the windows. Somewhere down the hall the house creaked. Noah leaned forward. Emily, I need you to hear something, and I need you to hear it clearly. She looked at him. You are not broken. You are not stupid. You are not weak. You are a woman who survived 4 years of psychological warfare and had the guts to walk out the door. Do you understand me? Her lip quivered. Most people never leave, Emily. Most people stay in that room forever. You didn't. You got in your car. You drove 5 hours in a storm. You found your way here. That's not weakness. That's the strongest thing I've ever seen. A tear slid down her cheek. Then another. She didn't wipe them away. I dropped out of my residency because of him, she said. I was 2 years in, top of my rotation. My attending said I had the best instincts he'd seen in a decade. And Marcus, he kept telling me I was stressed, that I was falling apart, that I needed to take a break for my health. He said it with such love, Noah, such genuine concern, and I believed him. Because he designed it that way. Yes. She closed her eyes. I gave up medicine, for him, and then he spent the next 2 years reminding me that I gave up medicine, like it was my failing, like it proved I wasn't strong enough. That's what people like him do. They cut off your wings and then blame you for not flying. Emily opened her eyes, stared at him. Where did that come from? I've had a lot of time to think. Single dad, quiet house. You learn some things. She almost smiled. Almost. Your daughter, Lily. Tell me about her. She's 6. She thinks Velociraptor is better than T-Rex. She negotiates bedtime like a hostage negotiator. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. And her mother? Noah's face shifted. Not pain exactly. Something older. More settled. Rachel left when Lily was 2. Said she wasn't cut out for it. Parenthood, marriage, the whole thing. One morning she kissed Lily goodbye, told me she needed space to figure out who she was, and drove to her sister's in Oregon. Divorce papers came 6 weeks later. Noah, it was hard. I won't pretend it wasn't, but Lily needed a parent who showed up, so I showed up. Every day. That's the job. You're a good father. I'm a tired father. But yeah, I try. They sat in silence for a moment. The kind of silence that isn't awkward. The kind that 2 people can only share when they've known each other deeply, even if years have passed. I need to ask you something, Emily said. Ask. Marcus is on a business trip. He gets back tomorrow night. When he finds out I'm gone, he'll call me. Probably 50 times. Then he'll start calling everyone I know. My parents, my sister, my old friends. He'll tell them I'm unstable. He'll tell them I'm a danger to myself. He might even show up at this door. Let him. Emily blinked. What? Let him show up. Let him knock. Let him try. Noah's voice was low and even, and absolutely certain. This is my house, my door, and he does not get through it. Noah, you don't know what he's like. I know exactly what he's like. He's a man who had to make you small to feel big. He's a man who told you your dreams were too much, so he could keep you manageable. He's a man who grabbed you hard enough to bruise you and shoved you into a wall because you dared to leave. Noah leaned forward. I know men like Marcus. I've known them my whole life, and they are all the same, brave in the dark, cowards in the light. Emily stared at him. Something shifted in her expression. Not hope, not yet, but recognition. The recognition that she was sitting across from a man who was nothing like the one she'd left. You'd really do that? Stand between me and him? It's already done, Emily. She exhaled, long, shaky from somewhere deep. I forgot what this felt like. What? Being safe. Noah held her gaze. You're safe here. Tonight, tomorrow, and as long as you need. No conditions, no expiration date, just safe. Emily set down her mug. Her hands had finally stopped trembling. "I should sleep," she said. "I haven't slept in, I don't know, days." Guest rooms down the hall. End of the corridor. Clean sheets, towels in the bathroom, lock on the door. A lock? Use it if it helps. She stood, picked up her duffel bag, half empty, now clothes still scattered by the front door. Noah would pick them up later. He'd dry them, fold them, leave them outside her door in the morning. Emily walked to the hallway, stopped, turned back. "Noah." "Yeah." 7 years ago, Marcus told me you were dangerous. He said men like you, kind, steady, attentive, were the most dangerous kind, because women like me would confuse your kindness for something more. And you believed him. I believed everything he said. That's what abuse does. It makes the people who love you look like threats, and the person destroying you look like the only one who cares. Is that why you disappeared? Yes. Her voice was barely audible. He made me choose, and I chose wrong. The words hung in the air like smoke. You're here now, Noah said. That's the only choice that matters. Emily nodded. She for a long time. His pulse was heavy. His for a long time. His pulse was heavy. His chest tight. Not from attraction. Not from nostalgia. From rage. Pure, clean, controlled rage at a man named Marcus, who had taken the most extraordinary woman Noah had ever known and convinced her she was nothing. He walked back to the living room, picked up the wet clothes by the door, draped them over chairs near the heating vent, put Emily's bowl and mug in the sink, wiped down the counter, checked the front door lock, checked it again. Then he sat in his chair in the dark and the quiet and made himself a promise. Whatever Emily needed, however long it took, whatever showed up at his door, he would not flinch. Morning came gray and heavy. The storm had moved on, but left the sky bruised. Noah was up at 6 force of habit. Coffee first, then pancakes, then Lily's lunchbox. The rhythm of his mornings was sacred. It was the scaffolding that held everything together. Lily appeared at 6:45 in her dinosaur pajamas, hair wild, eyes sharp. Daddy. Morning, baby. Who's the lady? Noah set down the spatula. What lady? The lady in the guest room. I heard her crying last night. He crouched to Lily's eye level. Her name is Emily. She's an old friend of Daddy's. She's having a really hard time, and she needs a safe place to stay for a while. Can you be extra kind to her? Lily considered this with the gravity of a federal judge. Does she like dinosaurs? I'll ask. If she doesn't like dinosaurs, she can still stay, but it would be better if she did. Noah kissed the top of her head. You're a good person, Lily Carter. I know, Daddy. Emily appeared at 7:30. Same clothes, wrinkled, slept in. Hair pulled back. No makeup. The bruise on her arm had darkened overnight. The split on her lip had crusted. She stood in the kitchen doorway like she wasn't sure she had permission to enter. Morning, Noah said. Coffee's hot. Pancakes in 3 minutes. Noah, I can't just... My house, my rules. You eat. Lily emerged from behind Noah's leg. She stared up at Emily with those enormous brown eyes. Do you like dinosaurs? Emily blinked. For 1 second, the weight on her shoulders lifted. Just 1 second. But it was enough. I love dinosaurs, she said. Lily broke into a grin. Then you can definitely stay. They sat at the kitchen table, the three of them, and ate pancakes while Lily delivered an impassioned lecture on why Velociraptor would beat T-Rex in a fair fight. Emily listened. Really listened. She asked questions. She engaged. And for 20 minutes, she wasn't a woman running from a monster. She was just a person sitting at a kitchen table eating pancakes with a 6-year-old who had strong opinions about the Cretaceous period. After Mrs. Huang picked Lily up for the carpool, the house went quiet. Emily wrapped both hands around her coffee mug, stared into it. I need to tell you the rest, she said. Noah sat across from her. I'm listening. I have $400, that's it. The apartment is in Marcus's name. The car I took it, but it's registered to him. He could report it stolen. My bank account he has access. My credit cards he monitors. How about your medical license? Still active. Technically. I haven't practiced in 2 years, but the license is valid. That's something. That's all I have, Noah. A valid license and $400 and the clothes in that bag. That's more than you think. How can you say that? Because yesterday you had less. Yesterday you had a man telling you you were nothing. Today you're sitting in a kitchen in New Jersey with a cup of coffee and nobody telling you a damn thing. That's progress, Emily. She stared at him. Her eyes glistened. When did you get wise? Lily asked me once why the sky is blue. I gave her the scientific answer, light scattering wavelengths, the whole thing. She looked at me and said, or maybe it's just blue because it wants to be. I figured if a 5-year-old could be that smart, I'd better catch up. Emily laughed, a real laugh. Short, surprised, almost involuntary, but real. It was the first time she'd laughed in months. Noah heard it and felt something shift in his chest. Something he hadn't felt in a very long time. He pushed it aside. Now wasn't the time. Here's what I think, he said. And you can tell me to shut up. I won't. Today you do nothing. No calls, no plans, no decisions. You rest. Tomorrow we make a list. Not a big list. Small things. A therapist. A lawyer maybe. A phone call to your sister. Baby steps. Baby steps. You didn't get into this in one day. You don't get out in one day either. Emily set down her mug. Noah Carter. Emily Martinez. I don't deserve you. Noah looked at her. Steady, clear. Yeah, you do. And one day you'll believe that. Today's not that day, and that's fine. She pressed her lips together, nodded, stood up. I'm going to take a shower. Towels are in the cabinet. I'll leave some clean clothes outside the bathroom door. She walked toward the hallway, paused. Noah. Yeah. That night at the reunion, when Marcus met you, he shook your hand and smiled, and on the way home he said, that man is in love with you. Cut him off or I walk. Noah said nothing. Were you, Emily asked, in love with me? The question filled the room. Noah held her gaze. Go take your shower, Emily. She looked at him for one more beat, then turned and walked down the hall. Noah sat at the kitchen table alone, the question still hanging in the air like a held breath. He didn't answer it, but he didn't deny it either. The shower ran for 45 minutes. Noah didn't check on her. He understood. Water was the closest thing to disappearing without actually leaving. He'd done the same thing the night Rachel left, stood under the shower until the hot water ran out, letting the noise drown everything. He couldn't say out loud. He folded a pair of his sweatpants and an old Penn State hoodie and left them outside the bathroom door. Then he went back to the kitchen, washed the dishes, wiped down the counter, and sat at his laptop, pretending to work. He couldn't focus. Every 30 seconds, his mind circled back to the same image, Emily on her knees in the rain. The bruise, the split lip, the way she'd said his name like it was the last word she had left. And that question. Were you in love with me? He closed the laptop. Emily came out 20 minutes later, wearing his sweatpants rolled 3 times at the waist and the hoodie that swallowed her whole. Her hair was damp. Her face was scrubbed clean. Without the mascara, without the armor, she looked like the Emily he remembered from college. Sharp eyes, strong jaw, the kind of face that made you pay attention. But her eyes were different now. Dimmer. Like someone had turned the brightness down. She sat on the couch and pulled her knees to her chest. I used all your hot water, she said. I've got a tankless heater. You could have stayed in there all day. Don't tempt me. Noah brought her a fresh cup of coffee and sat in the chair across from her. The distance was intentional. He understood that right now space was a gift. Can I ask you something? Emily said. You've been asking me things all morning. Why stop now? This one's harder. Go ahead. She wrapped both hands around the mug, took a breath. Do you think I'm stupid? No. You answered too fast. Because the answer's obvious. You're not stupid, Emily. You never were. I stayed with a man who systematically destroyed me for 4 years. I let him convince me to quit medicine. I let him cut off my best friend. I let him control my bank account, my phone, my schedule, my self-worth. What do you call that if not stupid? Noah leaned forward, his elbows on his knees, his voice dropped low and steady. I call it survival. You were in a situation designed to trap you. He didn't build those walls overnight. He built them brick by brick so slowly you didn't even notice you were surrounded until you couldn't see over them anymore. That's not stupidity. That's manipulation. There's a difference. Emily's eyes filled. She blinked hard. My mother doesn't think so. Tell me. I called her 2 weeks ago. I told her I was thinking about leaving Marcus, she said. And these are her exact words. Emily, you are 32 years old with no career, no savings, and no children. Marcus is the best thing you have. Don't throw it away because you're bored. Your mother said that to you. My mother has said worse. She told me at Christmas that I should be more grateful because Marcus chose me, like I was a rescue dog he picked up from the shelter. Noah felt the anger again, that clean, focused heat. He kept it off his face. What about your father? My father worships Marcus. They golf together. They watch football together. Last Thanksgiving, my father pulled me aside and said, Don't mess this up, Emily. Good men don't come around twice. He was talking about Marcus like he was some kind of prize. And you? What were you in that scenario? Emily looked at him. I was the woman who was supposed to be grateful. That's not a role, Emily. That's a cage. She stared at him for a long time. Something shifted behind her eyes. Not a decision, not yet, but the beginning of one. The first crack in the wall Marcus had built around her mind. You know what the worst part is, she said. I was good. I was really, really good. My attending at Johns Hopkins, Dr. Farrow, he told me I had the best diagnostic instincts he'd seen in 15 years. He said I had a gift, and I believed him. For a while, I actually believed I was going to be somebody. You are somebody. I'm a 32-year-old woman sitting on your couch in borrowed clothes with $400 to my name. You're a 32-year-old woman who walked away from a man who tried to erase her. You're alive, you're free, and your medical license is still active. That's not nothing, Emily. That's a foundation. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it, took a sip of coffee instead. You're annoyingly good at this, she said. At what? At saying exactly the thing I need to hear. It's not a skill, it's just the truth. Truth doesn't require talent. Emily almost smiled. Almost. But then her phone buzzed on the coffee table. They both looked at it. The screen lit up with a name. Marcus. Emily's entire body changed. Her shoulders pulled up. Her hands tightened on the mug. Her breathing went shallow. It was like watching someone shrink in real time. Don't answer it, Noah said. I wasn't going to. Good. The phone buzzed again. And again. 3 calls in 30 seconds. Then a text. Then another text. Then another call. Emily stared at the screen like it was a grenade. He's home early, she whispered. He knows. Turn it off. Noah. Turn it off, Emily, right now. He doesn't get to reach you here. Her hand shook as she picked up the phone. She looked at the screen. Noah could see text previews scrolling in. He says he's worried about me, Emily said. Her voice was flat, hollow. He says he came home and I was gone and he's terrified. He says he loves me more than anything. That's step 1. Emily looked up. What? You told me yourself. First, he's sweet. He cries. He says he loves you. Then when that doesn't work, he gets angry. You told me the playbook last night. so you already know what comes next." Something flickered in Emily's eyes. Recognition. She looked at the phone, then at Noah, then back at the phone. She turned it off. The silence that followed was enormous. Emily set the phone face down on the coffee table and exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for 4 years. "Okay," she said. "Okay," Noah said. "What do I do now?" "Now you sit here, you drink your coffee, and you remember that the man on the other end of that phone has no power over you anymore, not unless you hand it back to him." Emily leaned back into the couch cushions. Her body slowly unclenched. It took minutes, actual visible minutes, for her shoulders to drop, for her jaw to unclench, for her breathing to deepen. "Noah?" "Yeah. That question I asked you, before my shower. I remember. You didn't answer." "No, I didn't." "Are you going to—" Noah looked at her, really looked. At the woman who had been his best friend. At the bruise on her arm. At the split lip. At the borrowed clothes and the wet hair and the eyes that were just starting to remember what hope looked like. "Not today," he said. "Why?" "Because today isn't about me, and it isn't about us. Today is about you, just you, and whatever you need." Emily held his gaze. She didn't push. She didn't argue. She just nodded slowly, and something passed between them that neither of them named. They sat in the quiet, not talking, not needing to. Two people who had once known each other completely, learning how to be in the same room again after 7 years of absence. It was Noah who broke the silence. "I need to work for a couple hours. Freelance deadline. You good out here?" "I'm good. There are books on the shelf. Lily's iPad is on the charger if you want to watch something fair warning the algorithm is 90% dinosaur documentaries. I think I can handle that." He stood up, paused. "Emily." "Yeah. If that phone rings when you turn it back on, and it will, you don't owe him a response, not one word, not one syllable. You owe him nothing." She nodded. "I know." He went to his office, closed the door, sat at his desk, and pressed his palms flat against it until his pulse steadied. He worked, or tried to. The spreadsheets blurred. The client emails felt distant, like they were coming from another planet. Every few minutes, his mind pulled him back to the living room, to Emily, to the question she'd asked. "Were you in love with me?" The honest answer was complicated. Back in college, what he felt for Emily wasn't simple infatuation. It was something quieter, deeper. The kind of feeling that doesn't announce itself, but just lives in you, constant as a heartbeat. He'd never told her, old. There was never the right moment. And then Marcus appeared, and the moment disappeared entirely. But that was a long time ago. A different life. A different Noah. He forced himself back to the spreadsheet. 2 hours of work. Just 2 hours. At 11:30, he heard the front door open. He was on his feet instantly down the hallway in 3 strides. Emily was standing at the open door. On the porch, a delivery driver was walking back to his truck. "Just a package," she said, catching Noah's expression. "Amazon. For Lily, I'm guessing it says Lego Velociraptor on the box." Noah exhaled. His heart was hammering. "Sorry," he said. You thought it was Marcus." "I moved fast." Emily looked at him, at the way he'd come running, at the tension in his shoulders, at the way he'd put himself between her and the door without even thinking. "You would have fought him," she said softly. "If he'd been standing there, you would have fought him." "I would have done whatever I had to do. Noah, he's bigger than you. He played college football. I don't care. He could hurt you. He's already hurt someone I care about. That's enough." Emily's breath caught. She looked away quickly, but Noah saw it, the flush on her cheeks, the way her hand went to her mouth. She was holding something back, something she wasn't ready to say. "I'm making lunch," Noah said, stepping back. "Grilled cheese okay?" "Grilled cheese is perfect." They ate at the kitchen table. The conversation shifted lighter now. Emily asked about his work, and he told her about the consulting firm he freelanced for the spreadsheets he built. The clients who thought data analysis was magic, and he was the wizard. "You were always like that," Emily said. "You could take the most chaotic mess and find the pattern. Remember Professor Whitfield's statistics final? Everyone was panicking, and you just sat there calm, working through it like a crossword puzzle. I got a B+. You got a B+ because you stopped to help me with question 9. You were struggling. I wasn't struggling. I was having a meltdown. There's a difference. And you just leaned over and whispered, 'Start with what you know. The rest will follow.' And it did. I said that. You said that. And I've never forgotten it." Noah looked at her. "Start with what you know." "Yeah. So what do you know right now, today?" Emily set down her sandwich, thought about it. "I know I'm a good doctor. Even if I haven't practiced in 2 years, I know that about myself. Marcus couldn't take that no matter how hard he tried." "Good. What else?" "I know I need help, professional help. I can't untangle this on my own." "Agreed. What else?" "I know." She paused, swallowed. "I know I should have come here sooner." "You came when you were ready. That's all that matters. And I know something else." "What?" "I know that you never stopped caring about me. Even after I disappeared. Even after 7 years of nothing. You opened that door last night and you didn't hesitate. Not for 1 second." "Of course I didn't. Most people would have." "I'm not most people." "No," Emily said quietly. "You're not." The afternoon passed slowly. Noah worked. Emily read, or tried to. She picked up 3 different books from his shelf and put each one down after a few pages. Her mind was too loud. She ended up on the floor of Lily's room, looking at the drawings taped to the walls. Dinosaurs mostly. A family portrait, a tall figure with brown hair holding hands with a small figure with pigtails. Just 2 people. No one else. Emily stared at that drawing for a long time. At 3:15, Mrs. Huang's minivan pulled into the driveway. Lily exploded through the front door like a small hurricane. "Daddy, is Emily still here?" "She's still here." "Good." Lily kicked off her shoes and ran to the living room where she found Emily sitting on the couch. Without preamble, without hesitation, Lily climbed up next to her and said, "I brought you something." She held out a piece of paper. A drawing. 2 dinosaurs, a big one and a small one standing under a rainbow. Underneath, in wobbly 6-year-old handwriting, it said, "Emily and Lily Dino Friends." Emily took the drawing. Her hands were steady this time. She looked at it for a long moment, and when she looked up, her eyes were shining. "This is the most beautiful thing anyone's given me in a very long time," she said. Lily beamed. "I drew it at recess. Mrs. Patterson said I should have been doing math, but I told her this was more important." She was right. This was more important. Noah stood in the doorway watching. He saw the way Emily held that drawing not like a piece of paper, but like a lifeline. And he saw the way Lily leaned into Emily's side, already comfortable, already trusting. Kids had an instinct for that. They knew who was safe. The 3 of them spent the next 2 hours together. Lily insisted on showing Emily her Lego collection, her dinosaur figurines, her rock collection, and her secret fort under the dining table. Emily engaged with every single thing, giving Lily her full attention, asking questions, making observations that delighted the 6-year-old. "You're really good with her," Noah said when Lily ran upstairs to get yet another thing to show Emily. "She makes it easy. She's remarkable, Noah." "She's her own person, has been since day one. She's also yours, through and through. That kindness, that's you." Noah looked away. "She gets credit for that herself." At 6 o'clock, Noah made dinner spaghetti and meatballs, Lily's favorite. They sat at the table all 3, and for a few minutes it felt like something Noah hadn't felt in years. Complete. Not perfect. Nothing was perfect, but complete. Like a puzzle that had been missing a piece for so long, you'd stopped noticing the gap. After dinner, Lily demanded that Emily read her bedtime story. Noah started to intervene. "Lily, Emily's tired maybe." "I'd love to," Emily said. She read Lily 3 books. 3. The same negotiations Noah faced every night, and Emily handled them with patience and warmth and a voice that made Lily's eyes grow heavy by page 10 of book 2. By the end of book 3, Lily was asleep, her small hand curled around Emily's finger. Emily carefully extracted herself and stepped into the hallway. Noah was leaning against the wall, arms crossed. 3 books, he said. She usually talks me into 2. She's persuasive. She's a con artist in dinosaur pajamas. Emily laughed. Quiet, genuine, real. Then the laugh faded and something heavier settled over her face. "Noah, I turned my phone on while you were cooking." And 47 missed calls, 23 texts, 4 voicemails. "Did you listen to them?" "I listened to one, the first one." "What did he say?" Emily's jaw tightened. "He was crying. He said he came home and I was gone and he thought something terrible had happened. He said he called the hospitals. He said he's been out of his mind with worry. He said—" She stopped, breathed. "He said he can't live without me. And you felt guilty." "I felt guilty, Noah. He's sitting in an empty apartment, terrified, and I'm eating spaghetti with your daughter and reading bedtime stories like nothing happened." Noah straightened up. He stepped closer. Not touching her. Just close. "Emily, listen to me. What you just described is not guilt. It's programming. He spent 4 years training you to prioritize his feelings over your own. So now even when you've left, even when you're safe, your first instinct is to worry about him. That's not love. That's a reflex he installed in you." Emily's eyes widened. "A reflex he installed?" "Yes. And it's going to take time to uninstall it. But recognizing it is the first step." She stared at him. "How do you know all this?" "Because after Rachel left, I went to therapy. 18 months. Every Tuesday. My therapist was a 60-year-old woman named Dr. Pham, who didn't let me get away with anything. She taught me things I didn't want to learn. About patterns. About why I chose the people I chose. About what it means to actually heal instead of just surviving." "You went to therapy." "Best thing I ever did. Hardest, too." "I need to do that." "Yes, you do. And tomorrow we'll find someone. A good someone, not a phone app. A real person in a real room who will help you take apart what Marcus built." Emily nodded. Then she reached out and took his hand. Just held it. Her fingers were cold. His were warm. "Thank you," she said. "You keep thanking me. Because I keep meaning it." They stood in the hallway, hand in hand, the house quiet around them. Lily asleep behind one door, the guest room waiting behind another, and between them, something that had been buried for 7 years, pushing through the surface like a root through concrete. Noah squeezed her hand once, then let go. "Get some sleep," he said. "Tomorrow's a big day." "What's tomorrow?" "Tomorrow we start building. Small steps. One at a time." Emily looked at him. In the dim hallway light, with his daughter asleep 10 feet away, and his borrowed hoodie hanging off her frame, she looked at him the way you look at land after months at sea. "Good night, Noah." "Good night, Emily." She walked into the guest room. The door closed. The lock clicked. But this time, Noah noticed something. It took her a full 5 seconds longer to turn that lock than it had the night before. Maybe she was starting to feel it. Maybe she didn't need the lock as much tonight. Maybe, just maybe, she was beginning to understand that the danger wasn't inside this house. Noah went to his room, lay down in the dark, stared at the ceiling. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "I know she's there. Tell Emily to call me. Now." Noah read it twice. Then he typed a response, 4 words. "Hit send. Don't contact this number." He blocked the number, set the phone down, closed his eyes. Marcus knew. The clock was ticking now, and Noah Carter was ready for whatever came next. Noah didn't sleep. He lay in the dark, eyes open, running the numbers. Marcus had his phone number. That meant Marcus had done some digging. Maybe Emily's old contacts, maybe social media, maybe something worse. It didn't matter how. What mattered was that the wall between Emily's past and Emily's present had just gotten thinner. At 2 a.m. he got up and checked every lock in the house. Front door, back door, windows, garage. He checked Lily's room. She was starfished across her bed, one arm dangling off the side, breathing the deep, boneless sleep of a child who had never known fear. He stood in her doorway for a long moment, then moved to the guest room. No sound. Emily was either asleep or doing what he was doing, staring at the ceiling, waiting for something she couldn't name. He went back to bed. Didn't close his eyes until 4. The alarm hit at 6. He felt like he'd been dragged behind a truck, but he got up. Coffee, pancakes, lunchbox, the rhythm, the scaffolding. Hold the structure and the structure holds you. Lily came down at 6:45. Same dinosaur pajamas. Same enormous energy. Is Emily awake? Not yet, baby. Let her sleep. Can I make her a card? After school. Can I make her a card now and give it to her after school? Noah handed her a piece of paper and some crayons. She went to work with the intensity of a surgeon. Emily appeared at 7:15. Earlier than yesterday. She was wearing the same borrowed clothes, but something was different. She was standing straighter. Not much an inch, maybe 2, but Noah noticed. Morning, she said. Coffee's on the counter. Lily made you something. Lily held up the card. It was a drawing of 3 figures, a tall one, a medium one, and a small one standing in front of a house. Above them, in giant red letters, Our House. Emily took the card. She pressed her lips together hard. Her eyes went glassy. Our house, she read. That's you, that's Daddy, and that's me, Lily said, pointing to each figure. I gave you purple hair because I think you'd look cool with purple hair. I think so too, Emily whispered. Noah watched Emily trace her finger over the drawing. He saw what it cost her to hold herself together. He saw the exact moment she almost broke and the exact moment she pulled herself back. She crouched down to Lily's level. I'm going to keep this forever, Emily said. Is that okay? Obviously, Lily said. After the carpool pickup, the house fell quiet again. Emily sat at the kitchen table, the card propped up against the salt shaker. She stared at it. Noah, I need to talk to you about something. He sat across from her. Go ahead. Marcus texted you. Noah went still. How do you know that? Because he texted me too, from a different number. At 3 a.m., he said, and I quote, I know you're at Noah's. I always knew you'd run to him. Come home or I'll come get you. Did you respond? No. Good. I blocked his number last night. You should do the same. I did. But Noah, he knows where you live. I don't know how, but he knows. He's guessing. He's casting a wide net. That's what people like him do when they lose control. They start pulling every rope they can find. What if he's not guessing? What if he actually shows up? Then he shows up, and he meets me at the door. Noah, stop. I'm serious. Marcus is not just some manipulative boyfriend. When he grabbed me that night, the look in his eyes, I've never seen that before. It was beyond anger. It was ownership. Like I was something that belonged to him, and I had no right to leave. You had every right. I know that. But he doesn't. And that's what makes him dangerous. Noah leaned back. He was quiet for a moment. Do you want to go to the police? Emily shook her head. And say what my ex-boyfriend grabbed my arm. They'll take a report and nothing will happen. I know how this works. I've seen it 100 times at the clinic. Then we document everything. Every text, every call, every voicemail. We save it all. And today we find you a lawyer. With what money? There are legal aid organizations, pro bono attorneys who specialize in domestic situations. I'll find them. That's what I do. I find information. Let me do what I'm good at. Emily looked at him. Something in her expression softened. You've already thought about this. I didn't sleep much. Neither did I. I know. I heard you pacing at 3:30. Emily exhaled. I'm sorry. I'm disrupting your entire life. My life needed disrupting. I've been running the same loop for 4 years, work, Lily, sleep, repeat. You're the first thing that's happened to me that I didn't plan, and I'm not sorry about it. Emily held his gaze. There was something building between them, had been building since the moment she walked through his door, but neither of them reached for it. Not yet. The timing was wrong. They both knew it. Okay, Emily said. Today we build. Today we build. Noah opened his laptop. Within an hour, he'd found 3 things: a domestic violence legal aid hotline, a licensed therapist in town who specialized in trauma and had an opening Thursday, and a medical consulting firm in Princeton that was hiring. I'm not ready for a job, Emily said when he showed her the listing. You're not applying today. You're just looking. There's a difference between a plan and a commitment. Right now, we're just making the plan. Emily read the listing. Her eyes moved across the screen, and Noah watched something happen that he hadn't seen since she arrived. Focus. Real focus. The kind she used to have in college when she was locked onto a problem, sharp, precise, hungry. Medical consulting, she murmured. That's not clinical work. No, but it uses everything you learned in residency. Diagnostics, patient outcomes, treatment protocols. It's a bridge, not a destination. A bridge. She said the word like she was testing its weight. I like that. Good. Now call this number. He slid a piece of paper across the table. The therapist's office. Emily picked up the paper, stared at it. Her hand didn't shake this time, but her jaw was tight. What if they tell me I'm a mess? They won't tell you that. What if I am a mess? Then you're a mess. Who's making a phone call? That's more than most people do. Emily picked up her phone, dialed. Noah watched her face as it rang, the fear, the hesitation, the moment of almost hanging up. Then someone answered, and Emily's voice came out steady and clear. Hi. My name is Emily Martinez. I'd like to make an appointment with Dr. Chen. Thursday works. Yes. Yes, I can do 2 p.m. Thank you. She hung up. Set the phone down, looked at Noah. I did it. You did it. That was terrifying. I know. And you did it anyway. That's courage, Emily. Not the absence of fear. The decision to move through it. She pressed her hands flat on the table, grounding herself. Then she did something Noah didn't expect. She laughed. Not a big laugh, a small one, startled and raw, but it was real. I just made a therapy appointment. In borrowed sweatpants. In the kitchen of a man I ghosted for 7 years. My life is a disaster. Your life is a comeback. You just can't see it from the inside yet. The phone rang. Not Emily's, Noah's. He glanced at the screen. Unknown number. Different from last night's. He answered it. Hello. Is this Noah Carter? A woman's voice. Tight. Controlled. Vaguely accented. Who's asking? This is Gloria Martinez. Emily's mother. I need to speak with my daughter. Noah looked at Emily. Her face had gone white. She'd heard the voice through the phone. She was already shaking her head. No, no, no. Mrs. Martinez, Emily isn't available right now. Don't lie to me, young man. Marcus called us. He's worried sick. Emily is not well, she has episodes, and she needs to come home immediately. With all due respect, Mrs. Martinez, Emily is an adult. She's safe. She's making her own decisions. Her own decisions? Gloria's voice sharpened. Her decisions are what got her into this mess. She had a good man, a good home, and she threw it all away because she's unstable. I need to talk to her. Now. Emily reached across the table and grabbed Noah's wrist. Her grip was iron. She mouthed 2 words, "Hang up." "Mrs. Martinez, I'm not going to put Emily on the phone. If she wants to reach out to you, she will. On her terms. On her timeline." "Who do you think you are? You have no right to keep my daughter from her family." "I'm not keeping her from anything. I'm respecting her choice. Goodbye, Mrs. Martinez." He hung up, blocked the number, set the phone down. Emily was gripping the edge of the table so hard her knuckles were white. "She called me unstable," Emily said. "Did you hear that? My own mother. Unstable. That's Marcus's word. He gave her that word, and she swallowed it whole." "Emily, she's supposed to protect me. She's my mother. She's supposed to be on my side. And instead, she's calling a stranger's phone to drag me back to the man who hurt me because he plays golf with my father and brings wine to Thanksgiving." Her voice cracked, not with sadness, with fury. Pure, white-hot, righteous fury. Noah watched it move through her like a wave, her shoulders squared, her chin lifted, her eyes burned. "I am not unstable," Emily said. "I am not having an episode. I am a woman who left an abusive relationship, and I will not be dragged back into it by anyone. Not Marcus, not my mother, not anyone." "No," Noah said. "You won't. I'm done being the person who apologizes for having boundaries. I'm done being the woman who shrinks so other people can feel comfortable. I'm done." "Good. I mean it, Noah. I know you do. And I've been waiting to hear you say it since you walked through my door." Emily's breathing was heavy. Her face was flushed. She looked like a woman who had just ripped something open inside herself, something that had been sealed shut for years. It was messy and raw and unfinished, but it was real. More real than anything she'd been in a long time. She sank back into her chair, pressed both hands over her face, breathed. "I need air," she said. "Let's walk." They walked. Around the block, then around the next one, then down to the park at the end of the street. Emily didn't talk for the first 10 minutes. She just moved. Hands in the hoodie pockets, eyes forward, breathing the cold afternoon air like she was relearning how lungs worked. Then she spoke. "I need to call Anna." "Your sister. She's in Madrid. She doesn't know any of this. She doesn't know about Marcus, about the abuse, about any of it. I kept it from her because Marcus convinced me she wouldn't understand." "Do you think she would?" "Anna is the toughest person in my family. She left the country at 22 because she refused to live by my parents' rules. She built a whole life in Spain, career, friends, everything. If anyone would understand, it's her." "Then call her. It's nighttime in Madrid. Do you think she'd care?" Emily stopped walking, thought about it. "No, she wouldn't care." "Then call her." Emily pulled out her phone. She stared at the contact, Anna Martinez, with a photo of a dark-haired woman laughing on a Barcelona rooftop. She pressed call. It rang 4 times. 5. Noah stood beside her, not hovering, just present. Like a wall she could lean against if she needed to. "Emmy?" Anna's voice came through groggy and confused. "It's midnight. What's wrong?" "Anna." Emily's voice broke on the first syllable. "I need to tell you something, and I need you to just listen. You're scaring me. What happened?" "I left Marcus." Silence. 2 beats. 3. "Thank God," Anna said. Emily blinked. "What? Thank God?" "Emily, I have been waiting for this call for 2 years. You knew." "I knew something was wrong. Every time I called you sounded smaller. Every time I asked about your life you changed the subject. Last Christmas when I visited, I saw the way he looked at you when you laughed too loud at dinner, like you'd broken a rule. I wanted to say something, but Mama told me to mind my own business." "Mama knew. Mama sees what she wants to see. She always has. You know that." Emily pressed her hand over her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. Anna, he hurt me. Not just emotionally. He grabbed me. He shoved me. The night I left, Where are you right now? I'm at Noah's. Noah Carter. From college. Another pause. Then Anna said, The one who was in love with you. Emily glanced at Noah. He was standing 5 feet away, close enough to hear. His expression didn't change. Yes, Emily said quietly. That one. Are you safe? I'm safe. Then stay there. Stay as long as you need. And Emily, I'm coming. Anna, you don't have to. I'm booking a flight tonight. I'll be there by Friday. You have work. You have your life. You are my life, Emily. You're my sister. I should have done this 2 years ago. I should have pulled you out of that apartment myself. I'm sorry I didn't. Emily couldn't speak. She stood on the sidewalk, phone pressed to her ear, crying silently, while her sister's voice poured across an ocean. I love you, Emmy. I love you too. Put Noah on the phone. Emily held the phone out. Noah took it. Noah Carter. Noah, this is Anna. I'm going to ask you one question, and I need you to answer honestly. Go ahead. Is my sister safe with you? Absolutely. Are you going to let anything happen to her? That's 2 questions. And no, nothing gets through my door. Good. I'll be there Friday. Take care of her until then. That was already the plan. I know. That's why she drove to you. Anna hung up. Noah handed the phone back to Emily. She clutched it against her chest. She's coming, Emily said. She's coming. She knew. This whole time she knew something was wrong, and she was waiting for me to call. People who love you don't stop just because you go quiet. They wait. Emily looked at him. The tears were still on her face, but something else was there too. Something that hadn't been there 2 days ago. Strength. Not borrowed. Not performed. Real. Noah. Yeah. I have a therapy appointment on Thursday. I have a sister flying in on Friday. I have a legal aid number to call tomorrow. And I have you. You have me. 3 days ago I had nothing. 3 days ago you had everything you have now. You just couldn't see it yet. They walked back to the house in silence. The kind of silence that holds people together instead of pushing them apart. When they reached the front steps, Emily stopped. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. I'm always honest. When Anna asked if you were the one who was in love with me, you heard that. I heard it. You didn't react. I didn't. Is it true? Noah stood on the bottom step. Emily stood on the top one. For the first time since she'd arrived, they were the same height, eye to eye. Emily, I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to hear all of it. Not just the first part. Okay. Yes. Back in college, I was in love with you. I was in love with you from the day you sat next to me in Professor Whitfield's class and told me my handwriting looked like a doctor's, which you said was a compliment because you were going to be a doctor. I never told you because the timing was never right, and then Marcus happened, and you were gone. Emily's breath hitched. But here's the part I need you to hear, Noah continued. That was 10 years ago. I was a different person. You were a different person. And right now today what I feel isn't something I'm going to put on you. You just escaped a man who used love as a weapon. The last thing you need is another man telling you how he feels and expecting something in return. Noah, let me finish. You're here because you need safety, you need space, you need time, and I'm going to give you all of it without asking for anything back. If something grows between us, and I won't pretend I don't feel it, it happens on your terms. Your pace, your decision, not mine. Emily stared at him. Her lip trembled. She reached out and pressed her hand flat against his chest over his heart. You feel that, she said. His heart was hammering. She could feel it through his shirt. That's not nothing, Noah. No, he said. It's not nothing. But you're right. I'm not ready. I know. I might not be ready for a long time. I know that too. And you'd wait? Noah covered her hand with his, held it there against his heartbeat. Emily, I've been waiting for 10 years without even knowing I was waiting. What's a little longer? She closed her eyes. A single tear slid down her cheek. She didn't wipe it away. You're going to make me cry again. You've been crying for 3 days. What's one more? She laughed through the tears. That small, surprised, involuntary laugh that cracked Noah's chest wide open every time. They stood there on the steps, her hand on his heart, his hand over hers, and for one perfect, terrible, beautiful moment, everything was exactly as complicated as it needed to be. Then Emily pulled her hand away, took a breath, squared her shoulders. Thursday, she said. Therapy. Thursday. Friday, Anna. Friday. And somewhere in between I call that legal aid number and start figuring out how to get my name off everything Marcus owns. That's the plan. It's a good plan. It's your plan, Emily. I just helped with the spreadsheet. She smiled. Not the almost smile from the first night. Not the startled laugh from this morning. A real, full, honest smile that reached her eyes and stayed there. Good night, Noah. It's 4 p.m. I know, but I want to say it anyway. Good night, Noah. Good night, Emily. She went inside. He stayed on the steps for another minute, his hand still warm where hers had been. His phone buzzed. Another unknown number. He opened the text. You think you can keep her from me? You don't know who you're dealing with. Noah read it again. Then he screenshot it, saved it to a folder he'd created that morning labeled Evidence, and blocked the number. 13 texts now, 4 voicemails, 2 blocked numbers, all documented, all saved, all ready for whatever came next. Marcus was escalating, and Noah wasn't going anywhere. Thursday came like a held breath, finally released. Emily was up before Noah. He found her in the kitchen at 5:45, sitting at the table with a cup of coffee she'd made herself. She was wearing the same borrowed clothes, but she'd washed them, folded them neatly the night before, and put them back on like armor. You're up early, Noah said. Couldn't sleep. Therapy nerves. Therapy terror. There's a difference. He poured himself coffee and sat across from her. She was gripping the mug with both hands, staring at the surface of the liquid like it held answers. What if I go in there and I can't talk? She said. What if I sit down and everything just locks up? Then you sit in silence until you're ready. That's allowed. What if I'm never ready? You drove 5 hours through a hurricane to knock on my door. You're ready. Emily looked up at him. The fear was still there, real, visible, heavy, but underneath it was something else. Determination. The kind that doesn't announce itself. The kind that just shows up and refuses to leave. Will you drive me? She asked. Already planned on it. I don't want you to wait in the parking lot like some kind of bodyguard. I was going to wait in the parking lot like some kind of bodyguard. Noah. Fine. I'll go to the grocery store. We need milk anyway. Lily's been drinking it like she's training for something. Emily almost laughed. Almost. Then her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen and her face went rigid. It's my mother again. New number. She's calling from the house phone. She never uses the house phone. Don't answer. I wasn't going to. Emily silenced it. Then she did something Noah hadn't seen her do before. She set the phone down gently, deliberately, and pushed it to the far end of the table. Not in panic, not in anger, in control. I'll deal with her, Emily said. But on my terms, after therapy, after I've talked to someone who isn't trying to send me back to Marcus. Good? And after Anna gets here. I want my sister next to me when I have that conversation. Even better. Lily appeared at 6:50 bleary-eyed and dragging a stuffed triceratops by its tail. "Morning, Emily. Morning, Daddy. Can I have chocolate chip pancakes?" "It's Thursday," Noah said. "Chocolate chip pancakes are Saturday." "But Emily's here. That makes it special." Noah looked at Emily. Emily looked at Lily. Lily looked at both of them with the serene confidence of someone who knew she'd already won. "Chocolate chip pancakes it is," Noah said. After breakfast, after the carpool, after the house went quiet, Noah drove Emily to Dr. Chen's office. It was a 15-minute drive. Emily didn't speak for 12 of those minutes. Her hands were folded in her lap. Knuckles' white fingers intertwined so tightly they looked fused. "You're going to be okay," Noah said, as he pulled into the parking lot. "You don't know that." "I know you. That's enough." Emily unbuckled her seatbelt. She sat there for a moment staring at the building. "Noah, what if she tells me I should go back to him?" "She won't. My mother did." "Your mother isn't a licensed trauma therapist. Your mother is a woman who chose comfort over truth. Dr. Chen's job is the opposite." Emily took a breath, opened the door, stepped out, turned back. 1 hour. "I'll be here. You said you were going to the grocery store." "I lied. I'll be right here." She stared at him, shook her head. Something flickered across her face, not quite a smile, not quite tears, but the exact intersection of both. "Bodyguard," she said. "Guilty." She closed the door and walked into the building. Noah watched her go. She didn't look back. That was progress. He sat in the car for 53 minutes. He didn't check his email. He didn't scroll his phone. He just sat, hands on the steering wheel, thinking about the past 4 days and how completely they'd rewritten the shape of his life. 4 days ago, he was a single dad with a spreadsheet deadline and a predictable routine. Now, there was a woman in his house who'd cracked him open in ways he hadn't been cracked open in years. A woman he'd loved in college and lost to a man who didn't deserve her. A woman who was right now sitting in a therapist's office trying to reassemble the pieces of herself. And there was Marcus. Escalating. 26 texts now, 6 voicemails, 3 blocked numbers, each message a little sharper than the last. The first ones had been pleading. The recent ones were threats vague enough to be deniable, specific enough to be terrifying. The last one received at midnight. "You'll regret this, both of you." Noah had screenshotted it, added it to the folder. He'd also called the legal aid hotline that morning while Emily was in the shower. Spoke to a paralegal named David, who told him that everything Emily was experiencing qualified for a restraining order. David said to bring the evidence, all of it, every text, every voicemail, every call log. Noah was building the case, quietly, methodically, the way he built everything one cell at a time, one data point at a time, until the picture was clear and undeniable. Emily came out of the building at 3:07 p.m. She walked to the car slowly, not defeated, different. Like someone who'd been taken apart and was still figuring out how to put themselves back together. She got in, closed the door, sat in silence for 10 full seconds. "How was it?" Noah asked. "She made me cry within 4 minutes." "Good cry or bad cry?" "Is there a difference?" "Yes. Good cry is when something that needed to come out finally comes out. Bad cry is when someone puts something in that shouldn't be there." Emily turned to look at him. Her eyes were red, swollen, but clear, clearer than they'd been since she arrived. "Good cry," she said. "Definitely good cry." She asked me to describe my relationship with Marcus in 3 words. I said small, scared, silent, and then she asked me to describe how I felt right now in this moment. And I said loud, not happy, not healed, not okay, just loud, like everything I'd been pushing down for 4 years was suddenly screaming at the same time. "That sounds about right?" She also said something that broke me. "What?" She said, "Emily, the fact that you left means the strongest part of you was never touched. He damaged you. He didn't destroy you. There's a difference." And I just lost it. Noah gripped the steering wheel, not because he was angry, because he was fighting the urge to reach over and hold her, and he knew that wasn't what she needed right now. What she needed was space to sit with what she'd just uncovered. "She's right," he said. "I know she's right. That's why it hurts so much." "Are you going back?" "Next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after that." She said we have a lot of work to do, and I believe her. "Good." "Noah?" "Yeah." "Drive me to the grocery store." "What?" "The grocery store. I want to cook dinner tonight, for you and Lily. I want to stand in a kitchen and make something with my own hands and put it on a table and watch people eat it. I haven't cooked in 2 years. Marcus didn't like the way I cooked. He said I made too much noise. He said I used too many dishes. So I stopped. I stopped cooking in my own kitchen because a man told me I was too loud when I chopped onions." Her voice was rising, not with sadness, with outrage. The kind of outrage that only comes when you finally see the cage you've been living in. "What are you making?" Noah asked. "My grandmother's chicken mole. It takes 3 hours and uses every pot in the kitchen. Every pot. Every single one." Noah put the car in drive. "Let's go buy some chicken." They went to the store. Emily moved through the aisles with purpose, grabbing spices, chocolate chilies, onions, garlic, everything she needed. She didn't check prices. She didn't hesitate. She picked up each ingredient like she was reclaiming a piece of herself. At the checkout, she reached for her wallet, the one with $400, that was all she had in the world. Noah put his hand on hers. "Don't." "Noah, I can't let you pay for everything. You'll pay me back when you're a big-shot medical consultant making 6 figures. Consider it an investment." "That's not funny." "It's a little funny." She looked at him, softened. "Fine, but I'm keeping a tab. I'd expect nothing less." Back at the house, Emily took over the kitchen. And she didn't just cook, she transformed. The woman who had been small and shaking 4 days ago was now commanding Noah's kitchen like a general. She moved with precision and confidence, chopping, grinding, stirring, tasting. The noise filled the house, pots clanging, the sizzle of oil, the rhythmic thud of a knife on cutting board. Lily came home and found Emily elbow-deep in mole sauce. "What are you making?" "Something my grandmother taught me. It's called mole. It's chocolate and chilies and about 100 other things. Chocolate for dinner. Chocolate for dinner." Lily turned to Noah with an expression of pure betrayal. "Daddy, you've been holding out on me." They ate at 6:30. Lily declared it the best thing she'd ever tasted, which was high praise from someone who had once ranked chicken nuggets as the greatest achievement of mankind. Emily watched Lily eat 3 servings, and something shifted in her, something deep and quiet and fundamental. "I forgot I could do this," Emily said softly, while Lily was distracted with her 3rd helping. Cook. Create something. Build something. Put something into the world that didn't exist before, and watch it make people happy. Marcus took that from me. He took all the small things. Not just medicine, not just my friends, the small things. Cooking. Singing in the car. Laughing too loud. He made me feel like every part of me that took up space was a problem. "You take up exactly the right amount of space, Emily." She looked at him across the table. The mole sauce was spectacular. Lily was humming with her mouth full. And Emily Martinez, for the first time in years, felt like a person who was allowed to exist fully. After dinner, after bedtime stories, 4 books tonight, a new record. Emily and Noah sat on the couch, close but not touching. The house was quiet. The kind of quiet that isn't empty but full. "Anna lands tomorrow at noon," Emily said. "I'll pick her up." "You don't have to." "I want to meet the woman who's been waiting 2 years for her sister to call." Emily pulled her knees up, hugged them. "I called the legal aid number today, while you were picking up Lily." Noah sat up straighter. "And I spoke with a paralegal named David. He said I have grounds for a restraining order. He said the texts alone are enough, but with the voicemails and the physical evidence, it's strong." "I know." "You know?" "How do you know?" Because I called the same number this morning. Emily stared at him. You called legal aid. I wanted to know what we were working with. I didn't want to walk into this blind. Noah Carter, did you build a case file? He paused. I may have organized some documentation. You built a spreadsheet, didn't you? It's a very thorough spreadsheet. Emily shook her head, but she was smiling. A real smile. The kind that starts slow and keeps going. Show me, she said. He pulled up his laptop. The spreadsheet was meticulous, every text screenshotted and time-stamped, every voicemail transcribed, every call logged with duration and source number. A separate tab for the physical evidence. Emily's description of the bruise, the split lip, the date, and circumstances. Another tab for the pattern of behavior. Emily had described the isolation, the financial control, the emotional manipulation. Emily scrolled through it in silence. Her expression shifted from surprise to something deeper, something that looked like being seen. You did all this, she whispered. It's what I do. I organize chaos. This isn't chaos, Noah. This is my life. I know. That's why I was careful with it. She closed the laptop. Slowly. Set it on the coffee table. Then she turned to him. I need to tell you about the voicemails. You don't have to. I want to. You should know what we're dealing with. Okay. The first 3 were what I expected. Crying, begging. Baby, come home. I'm lost without you. I'll change. I'll do anything. Classic Marcus. The voice he uses when he wants you to feel sorry for him. And the others? Emily's jaw tightened. The 4th one was different. His voice was flat, calm. He said, Emily, I've been very patient. I've given you time to come to your senses. But my patience is running out. You need to come home, now, before this becomes something neither of us can control. Before this becomes something neither of us can control. Noah repeated. That's a threat. The 5th one was worse. He said he'd spoken to my parents. He said my mother agreed that I was having a breakdown. He said he was exploring his options, which I think means he's going to try to get me declared incompetent. Can he do that? He's a corporate lawyer, Noah. He knows people. He knows how to use the system. He could file a petition for emergency guardianship if he can convince a judge I'm a danger to myself. That's insane. That's Marcus. He doesn't just fight. He litigates. He turns everything into a case he can win. Noah felt the heat in his chest again. That controlled, focused rage he'd been carrying since the first night. He won't win this one. You sound very sure. Because I am. You're not incompetent, Emily. You're not having a breakdown. You're a woman who left an abusive relationship, made a therapy appointment within 72 hours, contacted legal aid, and cooked a 3-hour dinner that made my daughter declare you the greatest human alive. That's not a person in crisis. That's a person in recovery. Emily's eyes filled. She blinked hard. David said we should file the restraining order before Marcus makes any legal moves. Preemptive. Get our documentation in front of a judge before his narrative takes hold. When? Monday. David's office. He said he can expedite it given the escalation of the threats. I'm coming with you. Noah, you don't? I'm coming with you. Non-negotiable. She looked at him for a long time. Then she reached over and took his hand. Held it. Not like the first time when she was seeking comfort. This time, she was offering it back. A current flowing both directions. I'm scared, she said. I know. Not of Marcus, not anymore. I'm scared of what happens after, when the restraining order is filed and the therapy is underway, and Anna is here and the dust settles. I'm scared of what's left when all the crisis is over. What do you mean? I mean, who am I? Without Marcus defining me, without my parents' expectations, without the version of myself I've been performing for 4 years. Who's actually under all that? You want to know what I think? Always. I think under all that is the woman who sat next to me in statistics class and said my handwriting looked like a doctor's. I think under all that is the woman who got into Johns Hopkins and screamed so loud the librarian shushed her from across the building. I think under all that is someone extraordinary who got buried alive and is now digging herself out. And I think the woman you find at the bottom is going to be the best version of you that's ever existed." Emily squeezed his hand so hard it hurt. "Noah." "Yeah. That night, when I drove here. When I was on the highway in the rain and I didn't know where I was going. My phone was in the passenger seat and Marcus was calling over and over and the screen kept lighting up with his name. And I almost turned around. Twice. I had the exit and I almost took it. I almost went back. But you didn't." "I didn't. Because something in my head, something small, something I'd almost forgotten existed said one word. Your name. Just Noah. Like a compass pointing north. And I kept driving." Noah couldn't speak. His throat was closed. He held her hand and said nothing, because there was nothing to say that would be bigger than what she'd just given him. They sat like that for a long time. Two people on a couch in a quiet house holding hands, not speaking, not needing to. The clock ticked. The refrigerator hummed. Somewhere upstairs, Lily talked in her sleep, something about velociraptors and birthday cake. Finally, Emily pulled her hand away, gently, not retreating, just ready to stand on her own. "I should sleep," she said. "Big day tomorrow." Anna. Anna. And after Anna, Monday. The restraining order. The real fight. "You're not fighting alone. I know that now." She stood up, looked down at him. "Noah, I need to say something, and I need you to let me say it without deflecting." "I'll try." "You saved my life. Not metaphorically, not poetically. Literally. If you hadn't opened that door, if you hadn't pulled me inside, I would have gotten back in my car and driven back to Marcus. And I don't think I would have left again. You gave me a place to land when I had nowhere. You gave me safety when I'd forgotten what it felt like. You gave me your daughter who drew me into her family portrait on day 2. You gave me everything, Noah. And I will spend the rest of my life being worthy of it." Emily. I said no deflecting. He closed his mouth, nodded. She leaned down and kissed his forehead. Light. Brief. But it burned. She pulled back and looked at him with those dark eyes that were brighter now, still wounded, still healing, but brighter. "Good night, Noah." "Good night, Emily." She walked down the hall. The guest room door opened, closed, and this time Noah listened carefully. The lock didn't click. For the first time since she'd arrived, Emily didn't lock the door. Noah sat on the couch alone, his forehead still warm where her lips had been. His phone buzzed. He almost ignored it. Then he looked. A text from an unknown number. Different from the others. "I'm coming to get what's mine. You have until Sunday." Noah stared at the screen. His jaw tightened. His hands were steady. He screenshotted the message. Saved it. Added it to the spreadsheet. Blocked the number. Then he opened a new tab and typed 4 words into the search bar: Home Security System Installation. Marcus had given them a deadline. Noah intended to be ready long before it arrived. Ana Martinez landed at Newark at 12:17 p.m. on Friday. Noah spotted her before she spotted him, a woman who walked through the arrivals gate like she owned the airport. Dark hair, cut short, leather jacket, boots, that meant business. She was scanning the crowd with sharp eyes when she locked onto Noah, holding a small handwritten sign that said, Martinez. She walked straight to him, didn't slow down, didn't smile. Noah Carter. Ana Martinez. Where's my sister? Home. She wanted to come, but I told her to rest. She didn't sleep last night. Ana studied him. The same dark eyes as Emily, but harder, more guarded. The eyes of a woman who'd spent her life protecting someone. You look tired, she said. I am tired. Good. That means you're paying attention. She picked up her bag. Take me to her. They drove in silence for 5 minutes. Then Anna spoke. How bad is it? She's healing, but it's fresh. The bruise is fading, the lip is almost healed, but what's inside, that's going to take longer. I'll kill him. Get in line. Anna looked at him sideways. Something shifted in her expression, the first crack in the armor. She picked the right door to knock on, Anna said. She picked the only door she had. No, she had other doors. She chose yours. There's a difference. They pulled into the driveway. Anna was out of the car before Noah killed the engine. She took the front steps 2 at a time and pushed through the door. Emily was standing in the hallway. She'd been waiting. Her hands were clasped in front of her knuckles, white, her whole body vibrating with the effort of holding herself together. Anna stopped, 3 feet away. She looked at her sister, the borrowed clothes, the fading bruise, the healing lip, the eyes that were red from another sleepless night. "Emmy," Anna whispered. Emily broke. She launched herself forward, and Anna caught her. The two sisters collided in the hallway, arms locked around each other, and Emily sobbed, deep, racking sobs that shook both their bodies. Anna held her tight, one hand on the back of Emily's head. Her own eyes squeezed shut. "I'm here," Anna said. "I'm here. I've got you. He's never touching you again." Noah stepped inside and closed the door quietly behind him. He walked past the sisters without a word and went to the kitchen. Some moments weren't his. This was one of them. He could hear them talking low, urgent, overlapping. Anna's voice, fierce and steady. Emily's voice cracking and rebuilding, cracking and rebuilding. He made coffee, set out 3 mugs, waited. 20 minutes later, they came into the kitchen. Emily's face was swollen from crying, but she was standing taller. Anna's arm was around her shoulder. They sat at the table, Emily in her usual seat, Anna right beside her, their chairs touching. "Show me everything," Anna said. Noah pulled up the spreadsheet. Anna read it in silence. Every text, every voicemail transcript, every call log, every piece of documentation Noah had assembled over the past 5 days. Her expression didn't change. She just absorbed it methodically, completely. When she finished, she closed the laptop, looked at Noah. "You built this?" "Yes, it's thorough." That was the point. He threatened both of you, explicitly, multiple times. "Yes." Anna turned to Emily. "Monday, the restraining order. I'm coming with you." "Anna, you don't have to." "Emily." Anna's voice was iron. "I spent 2 years watching you disappear and doing nothing. I'm done doing nothing. I'm coming with you on Monday. I'm sitting next to you in that office. And if Marcus shows his face before then, he's going to have to go through me, Noah, and whatever security system I assume Noah has already installed." Noah cleared his throat. "Cameras go live tomorrow morning. Front door, back door, driveway. Motion-activated alerts to my phone." Anna nodded. "Good man." The rest of Friday was spent talking. Not small talk, real talk. Anna told Emily everything she'd observed from the outside. How Emily's voice had changed over the years, quieter, flatter, emptier. How Emily had stopped calling on Sundays, their childhood tradition. How Emily had missed Anna's birthday for the first time in their lives last year, and sent a text that said, "Marcus and I have plans, sorry." A text Anna knew Emily hadn't written because Emily never abbreviated sorry. "He was monitoring your phone," Anna said. "He read every text I sent. He said it was because he cared about my safety." That's surveillance, not care. I know that now. You knew it then too. You just couldn't say it out loud. Emily flinched. Anna grabbed her hand. "I'm not blaming you, Emmy. I'm telling you that the woman who knew something was wrong, she was in there the whole time. She's the one who got you out." Saturday passed with a tension that sat beneath everything like a low hum. Marcus's deadline Sunday. Noah didn't mention it. Emily didn't mention it. But they all felt it. Anna paced the house like a caged animal, checking windows, testing locks, examining the new security cameras Noah had installed that morning. Lily, oblivious to the undercurrent, adopted Anna immediately. She showed her the Lego Velociraptor. She showed her the dinosaur drawings. She demanded that Anna rank every dinosaur in order of coolness. And when Anna put Spinosaurus at number 1, Lily declared her the smartest grown-up I've ever met. At bedtime, Lily asked Emily to read again. 4 books. Emily obliged. When she came back to the living room, Noah and Anna were sitting in heavy silence. "He's going to come tomorrow," Emily said. "Maybe," Noah said. "Not maybe, he said Sunday. He meant Sunday. Marcus doesn't bluff. He follows through. It's what makes him good at his job and terrifying as a person." Anna leaned forward. "Let him come." "Anna." "No, Emily, let him. He shows up at this door. He finds 3 people who aren't afraid of him. He finds cameras recording every word. He finds a folder full of evidence that's already going to a judge on Monday. Let him come. Let him see what it looks like when someone stands their ground." Emily looked at Noah. He held her gaze. "Your call," he said. "Whatever you decide, we're behind you." Emily was quiet for a long time. She looked at her hands. The hands that had performed surgery. The hands that had cooked her grandmother's mole. The hands that had held Lily's drawings like sacred objects. The hands that Marcus had grabbed hard enough to bruise. "I'm not running anymore," she said. "If he comes, I face him. Here. On my terms." "Our terms," Anna corrected. "Our terms," Emily agreed. Sunday morning, Noah was up at 5. He checked every camera, tested the feeds on his phone, made sure the evidence folder was backed up in 3 places. His laptop, a USB drive, and an email to David at Legal Aid. He brewed coffee and sat in the living room watching the driveway through the front window. Emily came down at 6. She sat next to him. Not across from him, next to him. Their shoulders touched. "You didn't sleep," she said. "Neither did you." I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling and thought about every decision that led me to this couch. Any regrets? 1. I wish I'd come sooner. Anna came down at 7. She'd barely spoken since she woke up. She sat in the chair by the window, arms crossed, watching the street with the focus of someone who'd been preparing for a fight her entire life. Lily bounded down at 7:30, unaware that the 3 adults around her were coiled like springs. "Can we have waffles?" "Absolutely," Emily said, and she went to the kitchen. Noah watched her go, watched her move through his kitchen with the ease of someone who belonged there. She made waffles. She made them perfectly. Lily ate 3. At 10:42 a.m. a black sedan pulled into the driveway. Noah saw it first. His body went rigid. He looked at Emily. She'd seen it too. Her face went pale, then flushed, then settled into something Noah had never seen on her before. "Steel. He's here," Emily said. Anna stood up. "Lily needs to be upstairs." Emily turned to Lily, who was building a Lego tower on the floor. "Hey, sweetheart. Can you go play in your room for a little while? The grown-ups need to have a boring conversation." "How boring?" "Very boring. No dinosaurs at all." "Gross." "Okay." Lily gathered her Legos and headed upstairs. Emily watched her go, and something hardened in her expression. A mother's instinct, even for a child that wasn't hers, the primal need to put a wall between innocence and danger. The car door opened. Marcus Cole stepped out. 6'2", broad shoulders, expensive coat. The kind of man who filled a room before he even entered it. He straightened his collar, adjusted his cuffs, and walked to the front door with the unhurried confidence of someone who had never been told no. He knocked. 3 measured raps. Noah opened the door. Marcus looked at him, sized him up in one glance, dismissed him in the next. "I'm here for Emily. Emily doesn't want to see you." "I think Emily can speak for herself." Marcus looked past Noah into the house. "Emily, let's go." Emily stepped into the hallway. Anna was right behind her. I'm not going anywhere, Marcus. Marcus's expression shifted, just slightly. A tightening around the eyes, a flicker of something dangerous beneath the polished surface. Emily, this has gone far enough. You've made your point. Now come home so we can talk about this like adults. I am talking like an adult. For the first time in 4 years, I'm talking like an adult. And I'm telling you it's over. You're not thinking clearly. You're emotional. You've been emotional since... Don't. Emily's voice cut like a blade. Don't you dare tell me what I am. You spent 4 years telling me what I was: unstable, dramatic, too sensitive, too loud, too much. I believed you. I believed every word, but I don't anymore. Marcus took a step forward. Noah shifted, filling the doorway. You need to step back, Noah said. This is between me and Emily. Not anymore, it isn't. Marcus looked at Noah with pure contempt. You think you're some kind of hero. You think you can swoop in, and I didn't swoop in. She came to me. She drove 5 hours through a storm to get away from you. Think about that, Marcus. Really think about what that means. Marcus's mask slipped. For 1 second, just one, Noah saw it. The rage underneath. The same rage Emily had described. The dog right before it bites. Emily! Marcus's voice dropped. Low. Controlled. The voice he used to make her small. Your mother is worried. Your father is worried. Everyone is worried about you. You need to come home and get help. I am getting help, Emily said. Real help. Not the kind where you convince everyone I'm broken so you can keep me under your control. That's not what I have a therapist, Marcus. A real one. And do you know what she told me? She told me that the strongest part of me was never touched. That you damaged me, but you didn't destroy me. And she's right. Because I'm standing here, in this doorway, looking at you. And for the first time in 4 years, I'm not afraid. Marcus went still. The charm was gone. The concern was gone. What was left was cold. You're making a mistake, Emily. No. I made a mistake 4 years ago when I chose you over the people who actually cared about me. I'm fixing that mistake right now. I'll file a petition. Mental health evaluation. I have grounds. Anna stepped forward. No, you don't. You have a pattern of coercive control, documented threats, evidence of physical assault, and a restraining order being filed first thing tomorrow morning. What you don't have is my sister. Not anymore. Marcus looked at Anna, then at Noah, then at Emily. His jaw worked. His hands opened and closed at his sides. You'll regret this, he said. Noah pulled out his phone, held it up. The camera was recording. Say that again, Noah said, louder this time, for the judge. Marcus stared at the phone. The calculation behind his eyes was almost visible, the lawyer brain running scenarios, assessing risks, measuring exposure. He knew. In that moment, standing on that porch, with a camera in his face, and 3 people who refused to bend Marcus Cole, knew he had lost. He took a step back. Then another. This isn't over, he said. Yes, it is, Emily said. It was over the moment I walked out your door. You just didn't know it yet. Marcus turned, walked to his car, got in, sat there for a long moment staring at the house. Then he started the engine and backed out of the driveway. The black sedan disappeared down the street. The silence that followed was massive. Emily stood in the doorway, chest-heaving hands, shaking eyes blazing. Anna put her arm around her. You did it, Anna said. I did it. How do you feel? Emily thought about it, really thought about it. Loud, she said. I feel loud. Noah closed the door, locked it, turned to face them. Monday we file, he said. Monday we file, Emily agreed. They stood in the hallway, 3 people bound together by choice and love, and the stubborn refusal to let a bully win. It wasn't a perfect moment. It was messy and raw and unfinished. But it was real. And real was enough. Lily's voice floated down from upstairs. "Is the boring conversation over?" "It's over, baby," Noah called up. "Good. Because I need someone to help me build a velociraptor castle, and none of you are pulling your weight." Emily laughed. The sound filled the house full and free and unashamed. She laughed the way Marcus had told her not to. Too loud, too much, exactly right. Monday came. David's office. The restraining order was filed with 47 pages of evidence texts, voicemails, call logs, photographs, and a detailed timeline that Noah had built with the precision of a man who understood that data saves lives. The judge reviewed it. The temporary order was granted that afternoon. Marcus Cole was ordered to maintain a distance of 500 feet from Emily Martinez. No contact, no communication, no third-party contact through family members. Violation meant arrest. Emily walked out of the courthouse and stood on the steps. Anna was on her left. Noah was on her right. She held the paperwork in both hands and breathed deep long from the very bottom of her lungs. "It's real," she said. "It's real." Anna confirmed. "What now?" Noah looked at her. "Now you live." The days that followed were not dramatic. They were small, ordinary, and that was the miracle. Emily went to therapy every Tuesday. She called the medical consulting firm in Princeton and scheduled an informational interview. She cooked dinner every night, each recipe. A reclamation, each meal, a declaration that she was allowed to take up space. She read Lily bedtime stories. She helped with homework. She learned every dinosaur fact a 6-year-old could teach her, and she retained them all because Emily Martinez had always been the kind of woman who listened. Anna stayed for 2 weeks. She slept on an air mattress in the living room and complained about it loudly and frequently, which made everyone laugh. She helped Emily open a new bank account. She helped her register the car in her own name. She sat with Emily during every phone call, every piece of paperwork, every small act of rebuilding. On the day Anna left, she hugged Emily for a long time. "You're going to be okay," Anna said. "I know." "You didn't know that 2 weeks ago." "I know. That's how I know I'm getting better." Anna turned to Noah. "My sister." "I will." And Noah. "Yeah, my sister. I will." And Noah. "Yeah. She loves you. She's not ready to say it yet, but she does." Noah said nothing, but he held the hug a beat longer than necessary. After Anna's taxi pulled away, Emily stood on the porch, arms wrapped around herself. Noah stood beside her. "I got the consulting job," Emily said. "What?" "They called this morning. While you were in the shower. I start in 2 weeks. It's part-time, but it's real. It's mine." "Emily, that's incredible." "It doesn't pay much, not yet, but it's a start." Starts are everything. She turned to him. The late afternoon light caught her face, and Noah saw it clearly, unmistakably, the woman she'd been before Marcus. Not a copy, not a restoration, something better. A version of Emily Martinez that had been through fire and come out the other side with every soft part intact and every weak part forged into iron. "Noah?" "Yeah." "I need to ask you something." "You always need to ask me something." "This one's different." He waited. Emily took a breath, held it, let it go. "Is your bed big enough for 2?" The question landed like a bell strike. The same words she'd spoken before, but different now. Not filled with uncertainty. Not weighted with vulnerability. This time the question was steady, clear, certain. This time Emily Martinez knew exactly what she was asking, and she was asking it not because she was broken, but because she was whole. Noah looked at her. The woman who had knocked on his door in a rainstorm. The woman who had driven 5 hours to find him. The woman who had faced down her abuser in his hallway and didn't flinch. The woman who had rebuilt herself piece by piece, day by day, choice by choice, until she was standing in front of him stronger than she'd ever been, asking a question that changed everything. "Only if you're the one beside me," he said. Emily's eyes filled, but she didn't cry. She smiled, the kind of smile that starts deep and rises slow and stays, the kind of smile that rewrites everything that came before it. She reached for his hand. He took it. "I'm ready," she said. "I know." "How do you know?" "Because you didn't ask that question from a place of need. You asked it from a place of choice. And that's the difference, Emily. That's always been the difference." She stepped closer, pressed her forehead against his. They stood like that, breathing together, two people who had waited years for a moment that neither of them had planned. "Noah. Yeah. I love you. I should have said it 10 years ago. I should have said it the night I knocked on your door. I should have said it every day since, but I'm saying it now. I love you. I love you too. I loved you before I knew what the word meant. And I'll love you long after we've both forgotten everything else." She kissed him. Not on the forehead, not gentle, not tentative. She kissed him like a woman who had fought for the right to choose who she loved and was finally exercising that right. Inside the house, Lily's voice rang out from the living room. "Are you guys being mushy because I can see you through the window and it's gross?" Emily pulled back and laughed, full, free, unrestrained. The laugh of a woman who had been told she was too loud and had decided that the world would just have to deal with it. Noah grinned. "We should go inside." "We should." "Lily's going to have questions." Lily always has questions. They walked through the door together, hand in hand, into the warmth, into the noise, into a life that was small and steady and imperfect and absolutely, completely, undeniably enough. That night, after Lily was asleep, 5 books, a new record. Emily stood in the hallway outside Noah's bedroom. She looked at the door, then at the guest room behind her, then back at the door. She didn't hesitate. She opened it and walked through. And Noah Carter, the man who had never been the kind to make grand gestures, the man who showed up quietly and stayed permanently, the man who had waited 10 years without knowing he was waiting, looked at the woman standing in his doorway and felt for the first time since his life had cracked open that every broken piece had landed exactly where it was supposed to. "Room for 2, Emily said. "Always?" Noah said. "Always." She closed the door behind her, and the house was quiet, and the storm was over, and two people who had found each other through years of silence and miles of rain and the stubborn, relentless gravity of love finally came home. Not to a place, to each other. And that was the only home that ever mattered.